Hi guys, welcome back or welcome to Astrology with Georgie. If you don't know me, hi, my name is Georgie. I am an astrologer in the UK. I practice Western astrology using the tropical zodiac. And today we're going to be looking at the chart of Walt Disney. This is going to be great for beginners if you want to just learn how to kind of delineate a chart a little bit better, or if you have an own personal interest in Walt Disney, this could also be really interesting for you. If you're new here and you don't subscribe to the channel, please subscribe. Trying to get the channel up and running. It's still kind of new. If you get some value from this, please give it a thumbs up, as that helps the algorithms, and I really appreciate it. And let's get into the video. This isn't going to be a super long video, guys. I just thought it would be fun to come on here, take a look at Walt Disney's chart, because I feel like exploring celebrity charts is one of the best ways to really see how things play out in different ways for people, how planets that are well aspected play out, and also just to kind of highlight that we shouldn't necessarily be scared of squares and oppositions because they can help us. It's a dynamic energy that can help us um, move towards something in a motivated sense. So, if you have got a lot of squares and oppositions in your own chart, it's not something necessarily to be feared, because as we can see here, Walt has mainly got oppositions and squares. He hasn't really got that much, that many blue lines and that many trines and sextiles going on. So if you are new to astrology, and you're really starting to just really understand the aspects and stuff, then this is a good example to show that actually people can be successful. And yeah, this is a great example chart of somebody that can use their energy in an extremely powerful way. So first of all, when looking at this chart, we can see that really most of his planets are below the horizon, apart from his Neptune and his Pluto. Now, when you have most of your personal planets below the horizon, it is somebody that tends to be more behind the scenes, which I think is very appropriate for Walt Disney and what he was famous for, working behind the scenes. He was the creator of, obviously, the most iconic cartoon of all time. And the thing that stuck out to me straight away, because I'm looking at this and I'm thinking straight away, where's the creativity come from? And I'm heading straight up here to Neptune. So Neptune, which is the planet of living in our fantasies, living in our dreams, is at a critical degree. So it's at 0 degrees of Cancer in the 11th house. Now, that on its own speaks volumes, because at 0 degrees in astrology is a very strong degree. When you have 0 degrees, it is a very fresh and a very karmic energy. It means that planet is the freshest it could possibly be in this sign. It means, so 0 degrees of Cancer is the freshest Cancer energy. This man was here for a karmic reason. He's beginning a karmic cycle. And same with the 29th degree. When you have planets in these degrees, we see this a lot in celebrity charts. These people were here for a reason. In Walt's case, he was starting a karmic cycle around influencing groups, and it's in the sign of Cancer. So this is the sign of the family. Okay, he influenced and influences families, and will do probably for the rest of our lifetimes in terms of film and fantasy and escapism, but in a beautiful family sense of sitting down with your family and watching an incredible Disney film. Like, who doesn't love that? Neptune rules television, it rules films, and the 11th house is groups. It's influencing groups on a very large scale. It's the sign of humanity, the house of humanity. The 11th house is humanitarian work. It's large groups of people. So already that Neptune at 0 degrees of Cancer in the 11th house is telling us a lot about his story. He has Pluto, which is the planet of choose transformation, in his 10th house of career. Obviously, he was extremely influential in his career. Where your Pluto is placed can point towards previous lives of experiencing this success, but then never actually achieving it in this lifetime. However, in his sense, he's obviously continued this karmic achievement of being extremely influential in his career and leaving a huge legacy. That is also Pluto in the 10th house, leaving a legacy. His reputation is unmatched, and it's in the sign of Gemini, which is media. It's delivering information to us. His Pluto is opposite his Sun and his Uranus. So this is a person that had extreme power and control over large groups of people. Conjunct Uranus in a different way. He was unique. He was different. He, you know, is a legend and will continue to be a legend, like I said, until the end of our lifetime, probably. Now, his ruling sign is Virgo. So he's a Virgo rising. So we want to look at where Mercury is. Virgo rising also very detail orientated. Okay, so details would have been extremely important to him, which has probably played a huge part in his success. Virgos notice things, and it's also the sign of being of help and service to other people. So we can look at that as him providing a service, which he has, and his Mercury, which is his ruling planet, is here in the third house of connection, communication, and media. And it's conjunct the part of fortune, which I also think is really important here, because the part of fortune is where you find your luck in this lifetime. His part of fortune is conjunct his chart ruler, so it's part of his life direction to be fortunate. It's in the third house of connection and communication and media to others. I don't know if you can hear that noise. If you can, I'm so sorry. It's really annoying. It's my neighbours. They just don't ever stop doing stuff. Carry on. I should have put my headphones in. It's my own fault. So when we have Mercury conjunct the part of fortune, so the part of fortune, and it's in the sign of Scorpio, right? We want to look at the condition of Mars and Pluto, because they are in charge of this. So Mercury conjunct the part of fortune, this is looking like it's fortunate, but we need to see the condition of this. Okay, number one is sextiling Venus. This is a harmonious aspect to the lower octave of the creative planet. Neptune is the higher octave, so basically the bigger guy in terms of creativity. Venus is the lower guy or girl in terms of creativity. She is supporting his Mercury. But we want to look at Mars, like I said, and Pluto, because Mars and Pluto is ruling this. So Mars is here in the fifth house of creativity, and it's exalted in Capricorn. So Mars is in a strong position and is looking after his part of fortune and his Mercury. Pluto, again, in the 10th house of career, and we've just spoken about Pluto. So you can see that both those planets, Pluto and Mars, are ruling this part of fortune and his Mercury, which is his mind, his life direction. They're in a good position, okay? It all comes together in astrology. Now, Mercury in the third house is going to give you ideas. It's going to give you communication. The third house is communication and connection, and Mercury naturally rules this house. So this is going to give him brilliant ideas in terms of his mind. In the sign of Scorpio, this is somebody that's a deep thinker, creative, watery. He knows what people want. Scorpio is the energy that understands and picks up on the clues, and it knows what people want. They're very observant. They know without knowing. It's very intuitive. So therefore he would have used this in terms of his creativity to be able to provide a service to the world. Now, he's got a fifth house stellium in Capricorn. So he's got his Venus, Jupiter conjunct Saturn and Mars. Chiron's here too in the fifth house of creativity and fun and joy. And also children. Like his legacy, Pluto in the 10th house, is directly connected to children, and he's got this fifth house stellium, which is incredible. He's got Jupiter conjunct Saturn. Okay, so Jupiter is his beliefs and how he expands and how he grows, and it's conjunct Saturn. So he had a responsibility to shape the beliefs of children in Capricorn, which is a very detailed, goal orientated, high climbing sign. He's got Venus here. Venus is ruling his second house of money and also his ninth house of his beliefs. And she's really hardworking in Capricorn because Capricorn's ruled by Saturn. And Saturn, the ruler of this, is here. So Saturn is like the dad, and it's here with these planets like, yes, guys, we can create this. We can create this legacy. We can create this project for the world. Mars as well, exalted in Capricorn. Mars is your energy, your motivation. He was hardworking. And with Chiron here as well, this is pointing towards some sort of wound. I don't know what his childhood's like. I haven't done the research on that, but this could be speaking to potentially healing people from their wounds through his creations. Think how many people across the world go and watch a Disney film when they're feeling down. Think of how many people across the world, their whole childhood is shaped by Disney films. Like, it's absolutely incredible when you think about the scale of what he provided. And that's coming from his fifth house stellium in Capricorn. Capricorn is the most hardworking sign. And also Saturn rules time. And when you think about this, this has developed over time, and it's carried on and on and on and on, and it will do probably until we're long gone. And I just think that's so telling of this Capricorn being in stellium, this standing the test of time, and it continues to do so. And I just think it's absolutely amazing. I also find it interesting that he has Pisces on the seventh house. The seventh house is like your partnerships, the people you attract, your clients. And Pisces is the sign of creativity and escapism. So the direction of his life was detail orientated, and he would have attracted people, people watching his films, people being a Disney fan. And it's in the sign of Pisces. It's creativity, it's spirituality, it's unconditional love for the work that he created. So I think that's really interesting as well. And he's got his North Node in the third house. Like, his direct life path and purpose was to come away from thinking you know everything, being really materialistic and too grounded and too caught up in your resources, and coming down to earth and developing trust and imagination, and these things all in the sense of the third house. So this is all about connection and media. So it was his direct soul purpose to connect people in an imaginative and deep and transformative way, because Scorpio is the sign of transformation, and we know he definitely did do that. His moon is in Libra. He would have had an emotional need for things to be balanced and harmonious, and relationships would have been important to him. Moon in Libra has a very good sense of seeing things from both sides. It's an air sign, so it's a sign of communication, sign of thinking, thought-based. And he would have also had an emotional connection to money. We know that he made money. Let's take a look at his money then. So Moon in Libra, so Venus is here in Capricorn, hardworking, so he earned money from his creative project, this creative stellium, and sextiling his Mercury and his part of fortune. So the way that he made money came directly through his creative projects. His sixth house of daily work is ruled by Saturn and Aquarius. So with his Sun and Uranus in the fourth house, bearing in mind Uranus rules this, there was a direct connection between him influencing people's families and homes. The fourth house is the family and the home. I don't know much about his family life, but he had a direct emphasis on the family and home and people within it. And Uranus rules the sixth house. I don't know if he worked from home or whether it's just speaking towards the fact that he had an influence on families in a very unique way. But then Saturn, which co-rules this house, again, is leading back to that stellium of creativity and children. His 10th house of career and his MC are in Gemini, which points back towards Mercury, which is back here, conjunct his part of fortune. This part of fortune is speaking a lot to his success, because where your fortune is, this is where you're finding your luck. You're finding your luck if it's well aspected, which his is. So go and have a look where your fortune is if you don't know. Where is it? How is it being aspected? His is being sexed up by Venus, and the condition of it in terms of Mars and Pluto is strong. So his part of fortune has helped him with his success in his lifetime, and it's his life purpose to create something, to use media to connect people. And also the third house is childhood, so people's childhoods. His life path was directly influencing people's childhoods, which you can't get much more kind of obvious, literal than that. I think it's really amazing. Those are kind of the brief skip arounds of his chart. Now, obviously, Jupiter also rules good luck. This is a night chart, so Venus would be more of his benefic, but Jupiter as well. So they're both in the fifth house of children, bringing children new experiences, shaping children's beliefs, and bringing loving connections. And Venus is at that critical 29th degree as well. So Venus is at 29 degrees. She's completing a karmic cycle within his fifth house of creativity and children. So what she's doing is really important as well. And like I've already mentioned, she's sextiling his Mercury, which is his life direction. So that's just a quick zip around, guys. I'm not going to go on for ages. If anyone can spot anything that I haven't mentioned, then please let me know in the comments. A great example chart of somebody who was obviously iconic. Yeah, let me know in the comments. If you got some value from this, please give the video a like, thumbs up, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content from me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.